Hi everyone, well I'm here today at Brookman's Park Golf Club, a beautiful day here north of London, and I'm joined by Mike Lake from Quantum Golf, one of the GCMA's newest business partners. Really proud and pleased to be working with you, Mike.
Thank you Tom.
And thanks for joining the GCMA Partner Network.
No, it's been really good actually so far. It was when you joined in April, so far it's been really interesting in what we're working on together, and I'd like to invite you down to Brookman's Park today, and luckily we did get a good bit of weather for it as well.
Absolutely, yeah, couldn't have asked for better today. So enjoying having a look around the course afterwards as well.
Yeah, I did. We'll go through some of the projects we've actually developed here for Brookman's over the last 6 or 7 years. We've been working on it.
Great. No, it looks great. A really good looking venue. So firstly, tell us a bit about Quantum Golf then, Mike. What's the background of the company?
The background was born out of our main company, parent company is DLA Town Planning. That company does anything relating to planning. So from residential development, we do work with a lot of big house builders, and we do residential or commercial, leisure. And we were starting to do quite a lot of golf clubs, and born from that, we decided to set up a specialised company in planning for golf clubs called Quantum Golf. So it sits alongside as a sister company, if you like. It's been going for 2 years now. Basically, the expertise we've got through DLA is transformed into Quantum to deliver anything that's planning related to golf clubs. That could be from swing studios to resurfacing car parks to doing clubhouse extensions, brand new clubhouses. And we can go on in a little while to talk about some of the examples that we've actually done with some golf clubs in this area and further afield we're working on.
No, it sounds great, and you know, with everything that's happened over the past couple of years and the position that golf finds itself in, I think there are certainly more clubs than ever looking at these sorts of things and looking at these opportunities.
Indeed, I think we set the company up in 2019. Everyone thought we were crazy doing that as COVID struck, unfortunately, but fortunately for golf clubs, it was one of the first things to come back, and I think that really helped some of the golf clubs to survive. We're getting to a period of time now, though, where everything's getting back to normal. Other sports are getting back. I think next season we'll see the start of that. I think golf clubs are worried a little bit that might tail off the big boom that they had over the last 2 years, and so we're working with them to try and look at alternative ways for income generation through planning, whether that be redesigning and reorganising their clubhouses, to looking at spare bits of land they may have for a capital receipt for looking at some development, which is an example we've done here at Brookman's.
Sure. So what about some other examples then, Mike? You mentioned some of the sorts of things you can work on with golf clubs. What about some specific examples?
So we worked with Centurion Club. Obviously that held a big tournament only last week. We did the brand new clubhouse there. We did that back in 2012. We also did the machinery shed that we did there. We did the entrance gates to the property as well, plus a halfway house. And also we worked on the first 3 holes. So we gave them a lot of advice, and we still retain planning consultants for them. We're currently working with, obviously, Brookman's Park here. We've allocated a piece of land over to the back here that we managed to get out through the local plan process to be allocated for some housing development. That's going through the process at the moment. That will give the club some capital receipts that they can invest into the club. For them, we've actually done a really interesting project, which was a short-range driving range project, which essentially is a normal driving range, but you hit into a net for the first 30 yards, and then you look at a screen, typically could be any of the major manufacturers of the screen, that they can then see the ball flight going on there, and that's taken a lot of interest from there. Other examples, just recently, only last month, we got planning permission for a machine shed at Wheathampstead Golf Club, and we've just been starting to look at a golf club near Liverpool called Prenton Park. So we get involved in all sorts of different things. Swing studios are one of the big things that we do for a lot of golf clubs, because they see that as an income generating, and also it helps the pro and develop game, especially for juniors, because I'm really into junior golf and helping that. I do a lot of work with Bedfordshire County, developing their team, and one of the managers for that. And I think it's important for that, and golf clubs need to breathe and become a family destination, I think, and that really helps that element of it.
Yes, absolutely, and I think, you know, the more opportunities there are now to really try and define your product offering to suit your target market.
Sure.
You know, it's not just about deciding you might go after junior golf or a particular area of the market. You've actually got to look at how you adapt your product offering as well, haven't you?
Indeed. And if you can make it a family destination, I think you're going to get more people that are spending more money behind the bar, having lunch here, looking after what's going on, you know, enjoying it. And I think that is one of the big things that we need to look at, is how we can enjoy golf and maybe make it a shorter product like Super Sixes, or
Absolutely,
or
yes.
make it fun. You know, you've got to go out and enjoy it. You know, we've all played in big competitions, 18 holes when you've not been playing very well, and it becomes a bit of a slog and it's not so much fun. But let's try and think outside the box a little bit.
I can certainly, certainly sort of feel close to that one, Mike. That's got experience of that myself. So, the planning process. I think anyone that's been involved at any stage with anything to do with planning has probably found it pretty challenging. Understands the sort of the challenges and the time it can take. So, what would you say in terms of your expertise? What do you see as the sort of particular challenges and obstacles, and how can you help to overcome those?
I think first and foremost, as a golf club, you have to look at it that virtually everything that you do on a golf club needs some sort of planning permission. Currently, we're working with Moore Park. They want to get an irrigation system put in, a big holding lake, if you like. They've got a grade 2-star park and garden and a grade 1 listed building, and they're in the green belt as well, so the restrictions are huge. That's not to mention the ecology that we have to go through, and looking at landscape impact assessments. It was designed by Capability Brown, so you've got some real constraints in there. Most golf courses around major cities these days are in the green belt, so that's one of the things we need to look at and how we can deal with that. Certainly, for the example we have with the short range driving range here, we're in the green belt here, we had to argue that point in terms of that it was an appropriate use. And then we had to go on to nuances like ecology, for example, because it was on a bat run, so we had to look at that, and we had to look at making sure that the bats, through the ecology consultants who we work alongside, could actually detect the nets, for example, so they didn't get caught up in that. Then you have impacts in terms of like the landscape setting itself, from longer views and landscaping getting. So what we do is we work closely with a lot of consultants that we've grown up with through DLA, that we know that we can work with and alongside, and we'll bring them in at appropriate times. So we would give you the complete package to deal with the planning, and we would probably go in first off and advise them on how to do it, which way to do it, and in terms of like looking at the policy background from local planning authorities, which can be a minefield if you don't know where to look and who to talk to.
Yes, absolutely. So it sounds like bit of a one-stop shop in that sense.
Indeed, that's what I'd like to think it is anyway.
That's great to hear. So we talked about it a little bit earlier on, but some of the collaborations that you've got now within the industry and your sort of business network that you're building, what does that look like?
Well, we're working a lot with consultants that look at help us develop from the planning side of it, but also more recently, we've collaborated now with TrackMan, for example. Based on the short range driving range here that I was talked about earlier, they were very interested in that product because a lot of golf courses don't have that practice facility and are looking to develop the game by having that facility on their course. So we're working with them because they rang us and said, look, can we have a chat after seeing the planning permission? And we said, of course. And now working collaboratively with them, we are actually one of their advisors to TrackMan UK, which has been great fun. I mean, they're a big company, and it's been a really exciting project. The other ones we're working with is Mashi Club, which I know we're GCMA members as well, on the corporate days, looking from that perspective, and we're in fact helping them with their project that they've got at Cleve Hill, which again is an interesting situation. You've got a lot of constraints around the Cheltenham area around there to look at. So they're some of the things that we're working on. And we're also working with a guy called Kevin Redfern, who's the Legends Tour support crew, which looks after all the likes of Ian Woosnam and Mark James to make sure their club's all ready for the day, and they just had a competition down at Trevose, which was very well supported, and so we're working with him, and we'll be going to the JCB club for the next Legends Tour event in this country, which will be great fun.
Fantastic, sounds good. Not been to the JCB yet myself.
No, I'm looking forward to that one. I think that'd be a good one to go and see.
I'm still waiting for an invite, Mike.
Okay, so, don't worry, we'll sort something out.
So thinking about sort of GCMA members and our community, you've recently joined as one of our new business partners, which we're really pleased about. I think there's a huge amount that Quantum Golf are going to be able to offer. What does that look like specifically for a GCMA member? Well,
we would like to think we were going to bring a professional team in to help you develop what your products, anything you need to do, any advice we can help you with on that basis. In individual terms, what we would like to offer as well is a discount to the GCMA members. We would look down that off our hourly rate, which would give you some help in terms of looking at it, because I know finances at golf clubs can be very tight, but we're keen. I mean, I'm a keen golfer myself. My son's a really keen golfer as well, and I'm looking to grow the game. So where we can help people, we will go and help people, and that could in all sorts of different ways of looking for different income streams. So we would like to think we're being a professional team, but also we're going to offer that discount as well for them.
Fantastic. That's really good to hear.
No problem whatsoever.
You mentioned you're a keen golfer, as am I, although infrequent at the moment.
Same
unfortunately.
as, to be fair.
Yeah. Where we've been through I've been involved in golf sort of 15, 16 years now, and seen a pretty steady decline through that period. Hopefully not directly related to sort of me getting involved, but
I'm sure it isn't.
And of course, over the last couple of years, we've suddenly seen this almost sort of accidental increase. Where do you see golf going now?
Well, I mean, at golf club level, I think they need to be looking at trying to be inventive in what they're looking at in terms of different income streams, but also looking at, I mean, we were discussing earlier, team events. I think that would be good
absolutely.
fun. I think you could get some really good team events. Obviously, the Ryder Cup is a massive team event. You've got the President's Cup in the States, against the rest of the world. I think looking at that type of thing, encouraging juniors, I think is key to get into that as well, because that is an area of the game that I think that needs to be developed. I can see at county level and at national level, the pool of talent is decreasing, which I think is going to be difficult for us in 5, 6, 10 years time. And hopefully with England Golf are getting involved, and they're really looking at doing that, bringing diversity to golf as well. People with disabilities as well, that's a big area I think could be grown. I know there's some golf clubs around here that are looking heavily into that area. So I think there's a real opportunity to grow the game. It's an exciting game to go and play. It's a frustrating game to go and play sometimes.
Yes.
But nevertheless, I think there's some big opportunities there that they can develop stuff. Fun things like, let's look on, for example, some of the new stuff that's coming out on, like TrackMan, for example. They've got some games for the kids and families to play. Which is really exciting, because it becomes more exciting. It's a technical game to pick up as a youngster or even as an adult, as you know. But having something that's fun, I think that's a big thing. I think in golf, make it fun, make it family fun. That would be exciting. I think as a game to grow.
I'd completely agree. I think it's a game that is pretty much like no other in that uniqueness, that a family can actually go onto a golf course and enjoy the game together. Different ages, different abilities, different genders, etc., etc. It's just, there's so much opportunity there that I don't feel as a game we have ever recognised fully and promoted in the right way. So
shorter formats will help with that as well, because as seeing my son grow up and play golf, 18 holes for someone who's 10, playing off the white tees in competitions. If you're not playing well, that becomes a long day. And I think making shorter formats, making it quicker, will make it more fun, I think, and more exciting. But that's all to come, I suspect. I'm sure the powers that be in the upper echelons of the game are looking at this.
Yes, absolutely. And believe me, 18 holes off the white tees for someone that's 43 can be a pretty long day as well.
Indeed so.
I agree, and I think that's absolutely the direction of travel. I think the way that TrackMan and other top tracers, etc., are really bringing those sorts of experiences into the game.
Yeah, Foresight are doing the same thing.
It's great, and the way that we can link, I think they call it gamification, is probably the terminology there, linking that more closely into the game, making it more fun, those shorter formats, and just that gradual progression up to an 18-hole course.
Yeah, giving people confidence to go out on the course, so they don't feel like they're under pressure from members that have been playing the game for a long while and getting in the way. That's the other thing we've got to look at, maybe.
Yes, agree, absolutely. Well, look, it's a beautiful day, and I'm really looking forward to having a look around the golf course here.
Cool.
So it's been great speaking with you. Really looking forward to working with you.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot. It's really good.
Mike.
Thanks.
Yeah.